We were having this conversation 48 hours ago about Dele Alli as a footballer, and then an interview came out today with Gary Neville on the Overlap, and I think it's fair to say it's definitely the best interview that I can remember in sport. I mean, like, Dele Alli bared his soul, didn't he? He was totally transparent, totally honest. It was such an emotional, open, transparent interview, and at times it was so painful to watch. You know, it was horrific what happened to him as a youngster, and obviously my heart goes out to him or to anyone that's had to deal with that sort of ordeal. It's torture. But what I would like to think is that it was clear for anyone to see when they were watching us talk about him that we were looking at it strictly through a footballing lens. You know, we were analysing Dele Alli, the footballer, and we were giving our opinions on Dele Alli, the footballer, and we were doing it as football observers, football pundits, whatever we are. That's how we were approaching it. And what I thought was quite interesting is, you know, there was a lot of blowback because of what I'd said about Dele Alli as a footballer, but it wasn't something, I didn't say anything that hasn't been said by countless other people on countless other, you know, like even if you go back a couple of years ago on the Overlap, you look at Gary Neville speaking about Dele Alli, said very similar things to what I said. Jamie Carragher said very similar things to what I said. Graham Souness is on that, said very similar things. And I think that what's happened now is it's completely changed because it's gone beyond being a football story. This isn't a football story anymore. This is an emotional, personal story, and therefore it's gone in a totally different trajectory.
Maybe I think the lesson learned for all of us, not just, this is certainly not me digging you or even me digging myself, is that we maybe need to be careful how quick we judge people, because there's clearly things going on behind the scenes with certain people that we don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, the narrative around Dele Alli at Everton, around Dele Alli at Besiktas, you know, like the word that came out from the Besiktas camp was that he went AWOL. They didn't know where he was. They wasn't sure whether he was in Istanbul or whether he was in London. And at the time, that was perceived by me incorrectly as being a lack of professionalism. I didn't realise, of course I didn't realise that there was so much more going on the Dele Alli story.
As you wouldn't. You wouldn't. I don't think anyone would be able to, especially when you hear some of the horrific things he said as well. No one's going to be able to kind of sort of come up to that and think, okay, that's the reasons why we're not seeing the young, gifted, talented player that always used to smile playing football. He's now getting the help he needs. I think from someone like myself as well that went through a bit of depression and mental health, I think the best thing, it does feel at the time like the world's on your shoulders, but it feels like the world's off your shoulders now, because you almost feel like you can breathe a bit. Yeah. You can breathe a bit, get the help you need, and move on. That's
right. And now we know the full story here. You know, his football career, the success of it or otherwise, it actually pales into insignificance. Yeah. The priority now is the protection of Dele Alli and looking after him and his mental well-being. Like, that's now the priority. Yeah. And the football conversation is actually secondary.
Rory Jennings in TalkSports today, and really shows exactly what everyone really are going through at the moment. Let's not try to pretend like none of us even said some crazy things when it comes to Dele Alli. Let's not pretend like we were just quiet. We were part of the criticism. It's only now that he came out, shared the truth, and come out to review that we are really learning everything that has been happening was out of this world. Remember, I promised you that I'm going to put a link of where I talk about mental health. If you need help on that, I had to create a separate channel because I feel like it's really a serious topic that people need to talk about and that you'll try to heal from. So I'll put it in the link, and also I'll feature it down there on the connect, so that if you're interested and you're dealing with this, you can find motivation, because we are really trying to create a community of people who can help each other every single day. But anyway, get back to Rory Jennings. The problem is that he is only him and Adi Oladipo, they're the only guys who talked about Dele Alli in the past weeks. Turkey club, Besiktas or something, the team he was playing for, I don't know how you pronounce that name, please correct me there. They came out, some of their players, even the people came out and said that They really had no idea where Dele Alli was. Remember, he left the preseason a little. He left for the loan move deal earlier because of an injury, and they thought he had just run away. They thought maybe he was going to try to recover there, but now, because we know the truth, we did not know. The Rory Jennings and the Dele Alli Oladipo, they came out, started talking about this. Felt like this guy was just being a part where he was destroying his career. He can never be anything. Remember, this talks, by the way, were started by Mauricio Pochettino. That's when it actually came to the public eye for people to start talking about it, because Pochettino talked about how he wants to help Dele Alli. He believed that there's something that is going on, and he believed he can help him. Now moving to talk sports, they thought maybe there's something that they want, and maybe the way Mauricio Pochettino made it sound, it felt like he was actually telling the Chelsea owners that, get me Dele Alli, I know how I can get the better of him, I can get the best out of him, just get him to us, let me work on him. But now when you look at how situation has now is pinned out, it looks like the player was really going so much, and I have to put so much respect to Rory Jennings coming out and actually apologizing, in his own way, the way he apologized. I don't know if he really said I'm sorry. Go rewatch the clip that is going to be in the beginning of this video if he really apologized, but he came out, actually explained that he didn't know that that's what the player was going through, but he came in as a football person. His criticism were more on the football part of this player. Felt like it was done because of everything that was happening. But now when this has now moved away from football, this is now personal. And what the things were being talked about were really said, really demanded somebody to open up his eyes and actually treat this case in a different way, because nobody expected that because of the criticism he was getting from the likes of Jose Mourinho and the whole media, it could reawaken the situation he dealt with as a child. You will never understand how it feels to be molested at the age of 6. You can never understand what forces a child to decide to start smoking as a way of trying to deal with the pain he was dealing with. You can never understand how it is like to live a life with a mother who was a drunkie, was always full of this. And he even came out, even Dele Alli himself, he said that he can never blame her. It was only the way she knew how to deal with pressure. You can never deal with that. You never know what the child had to go through, but it happened in his life. And also, don't tell me any grown-ass man will be afraid of anyone who holds him behind the bridge with his leg and trying to drop him down. Now imagine that happening to an 11-year-old. We have watched the movies, people, grown-ass men screaming when they're being held at the edge of a bridge. Now imagine an 11-year-old, a child who hasn't really learned anything with life. In fact, only thing that he knows about his life is nothing but trauma and pain. So as much as we talk about it, it was not an easy situation for Dele, as well as the media. We did not know what was happening, but now we do, and we are going to be putting all our trust and also respect to the Alli family, and we hope he's able to recover. He's able to be himself again, and I'm just hoping that he's back again and seeing the best player we saw. 26, 27, he still has so much in his career. In fact, to be honest, now this way we talk about the prime of his career. Let's hope that that is able to actually reflect in his way he plays. But yeah, we have to understand. So do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect, and go watch the whole video on Talk Sports on what Rory Jennings had to say over the Dele Alli issue. It's really crazy. Click the like button, subscribe to Connect. We are out. Peace.